Very good afternoon to one and all. I welcome you all for the heat transfer lecture. Whether my voice is audible and can you see my presentation? Please let me know in the chat box. Whether my voice is audible? Okay, great, great, great. So in the last lecture, we have discussed dimensional analysis applied to the natural convection, and we have derived the functionality equation for the natural convection, and in that we get that Nusselt number is equal to C multiplied by PR raised to n multiplied by Grashof raised to m. Okay, so Nusselt number is a function of a Prandtl number and a Grashof's number in case of a natural convection that we have derived, and I hope you have derived pi 2 and pi 3 term and the final equation after completion of a lecture. Okay, that was the task I have given to you uh, at the end of the lecture. So I hope that everyone has derived that further derivation. Dictation was over, and write-up part was remaining, so that I have given that thing to you. So in today's lecture, we'll start with the dimensionless number. Okay, dimensionless number. So the simple definition of a dimensionless number is that number having some physical significance and does not have any dimension. So such a numbers will be considered as a dimensionless number. Okay, such a numbers will be considered as a dimensionless number. Now, first dimensionless number we are going to discuss, that is nothing but Nusselt number. Okay, in both the cases, in forced convection also and in free convection also, we get this particular Nusselt number. Okay, so for that reason, we are going to discuss this Nusselt number and significance of Nusselt number and what the values of a Nusselt number actually represent. Okay, what we can signify from that particular Nusselt number value. So that we are going to understand in this particular point. Okay, so for the understanding purpose, we have to consider this particular figure first of all. And in this figure, you can see that there are two lines. So these two lines are representing the two layers of a fluid. Okay, that, apart from L meter distance. Okay, these are the two layers of a fluid which are apart from each other by L meter distance. Okay, and if you consider that the bottom layer, if you consider, okay, here I have made mistake, T2 temperature I have provided to both the layers, but consider this bottom layer having the temperature of a T1 and the top layer is having the temperature T2. Okay, T1 bottom layer temperature and T2 is the top layer temperature. Okay, and this both the layers, initially we are going to consider that this both the layers are moving with u meter per second velocity. Okay, with a u meter per second velocity. Now when the layers are moving and the heat is transferring from first layer to the second layer. Okay, when the fluid is moving and the heat is transferred from first layer to the second layer, then that heat transfer we need to consider as a convection heat transfer. Then that heat transfer we need to consider as a convection heat transfer. So we have to apply the Newton's law of cooling for the convection heat transfer. That is nothing but Q convection is equal to H multiplied by A multiplied by delta T, where H is nothing but heat transfer coefficient, A is the area available for the heat transfer, and delta T is nothing but temperature difference between these two layers. Okay, these two layers. So delta T we are going to consider T1 is greater than T2, so that delta T we are getting as T1 minus T2. Okay, so at initial stage we are considering the layers of a fluid are flowing with u meter per second, and the heat transfer from first layer to the second layer happen because of a convection. So we can write the convection heat transfer equation for the flow of heat from first layer to the second layer as Q convection is equal to H multiplied by A multiplied by delta T. So this will be our first equation. Now further, what we are going to consider? Further, we are going to consider that these two layers, as initially they are moving with u meter per second. Now these two layers are stationary one. Okay, these two layers are stationary one. Okay, so there is no velocity or they are not moving with initial velocity. So we have to consider the velocity of a layer is equal to 0 meter per second. Okay. Now, when there is no fluid motion and the heat is transforming from first layer to the second layer. Okay. When there is a no fluid motion and heat is transforming from first layer to the second layer, then that heat transfer will be considered as a conduction heat transfer. Then that heat transfer will be considered as a conduction heat transfer. And we have to apply the Fourier's law to determine the heat transfer rate. Okay, we have to apply the Fourier's law to determine the heat transfer. So according to the Fourier's law, if you apply the Fourier's law for the heat transfer between these two layers, so Q conduction, we have to consider Q conduction is equal to K multiplied by A multiplied by delta T divided by L. Okay, K multiplied by A multiplied by delta T divided by L, where K is the thermal conductivity of that fluid, A is the area, okay, perpendicular surface area available for the heat transfer, delta T is the temperature difference between the two layers, and L is nothing but the distance between that two layers. Okay, L is nothing but distance between that two layers. So Q conduction, when we are considering these two fluid layers are stationary one, and the heat transfer between that two layers as a conduction heat transfer, then in that we can consider the Fourier's equation for the heat transfer as Q conduction is equal to K multiplied by A multiplied by delta L divided by L. Okay, now this will be the equation number 2. If you are taking the ratio of first equation to the second equation, that is nothing but Q convection to the Q conduction. Okay, heat transfer rate by the convection divided by heat transfer rate by the conduction. So then you will get the equation as H multiplied by A multiplied by delta T divided by K multiplied by A multiplied by delta T divided by L as the heat transfer by convection divided by heat transfer by conduction. Okay, so delta T will be cancelled, L will be transferred to the numerator side, and we will get the equation as HL divided by K. Okay, we'll get the equation as HL divided by K, where H is nothing but heat transfer coefficient, L is the hydraulic diameter. Here we have to consider the characteristic length or a hydraulic diameter divided by K. K is nothing but a thermal conductivity. So this particular formula, or we can say that the Nusselt number is the ratio of convection heat transfer to the conduction heat transfer in the fluid. So that particular Nusselt number can be formulated as HL divided by K. HL divided by K. So where we can say that H is nothing but heat transfer coefficient, L is the hydraulic diameter, and in the previous lecture also we have discussed how to determine the hydraulic diameter or the characteristic length in a fluid flow. So that is nothing but 4 multiplied by cross section area divided by weighted perimeter. So 4 multiplied by A suffix CS divided by P, that is nothing but hydraulic diameter, and K is the thermal conductivity. So what Nusselt number represent, or the significance of a Nusselt number? What is the significance of a Nusselt number? So Nusselt number represent the enhancement in heat transfer due to convection. इसका मतलब क्या है? Heat transfer से heat convection से heat transfer में कितना increment आ गया है? So that represent the Nusselt number. Okay, convection heat transfer से हीट ट्रांसफर में कितना इंक्रीमेंट आया है. ओके, सो वो क्या रिप्रेजेंट करता है? Nusselt नंबर. सो द Nusselt नंबर रिप्रेजेंट द एनहांसमेंट इन हीट ट्रांसफर ड्यू टू कन्वेक्शन. ओके, ड्यू टू कन्वेक्शन. सो वी विल सी वन बाय वन what the Nusselt number signifies. Okay, so consider case number 1 when Nusselt number is equal to 1. Okay, if the Nusselt number is equal to 1, so what will happen? So in that case we have to consider that heat is transferred in the fluid due to conduction only. Okay, due to conduction only. Okay, what we have to consider, if Nusselt number is equal to 1, then we have to consider that the heat is transferred because of a conduction only in fluid. Okay, and there is no heat transfer by convection, and there is no heat transfer by convection. So if you put up in equation format that Nusselt number is equal to Q convection divided by Q conduction is equal to 1, so we'll get Q convection is equal to Q conduction. Q convection is equal to Q convection. Q conduction is equal to Q conduction. So that is nothing but the significance of Nusselt number when Nusselt number is equal to 1. Now, if you consider that the Nusselt number value is greater than 1, okay, the Nusselt number value is greater than 1. So to understand this, we have to consider one example. Okay, consider that Nusselt number value is 3. Then what will happen? So if you put up Nusselt number is equal to 3 in a equation of Nusselt number, that is convection divided by conduction, which is equal to 3. So we'll get convection is equal to 3 times conduction. We'll get convection is equal to 3 times conduction. So we can say that from above equation, we can say that the heat transfer by convection is 300% more than the conduction. Okay, heat transfer by convection is 300% more than the conduction. Okay, so if the Nusselt number value is greater than 1, then the heat transfer in a fluid has happened because of a convection. Okay, mainly because of a convection. Conduction hota hai, but most of the heat is transferred because of a convection. Most of the heat is transferred because of a convection. Okay, so you'll come to know from this particular example, if Nusselt number value is greater than 1, that is we have considered the Nusselt number value as 3, then we will get Q convection is equal to 3 times Q conduction, 3 times Q conduction, or 300 convection happening 300% more than the conduction, 300% more than the conduction. And the case number 3 is when Nusselt number is less than 1. Okay, actually this is the fundamental error. Okay, so we will not find the Nusselt number less than 1. Okay, so this is a fundamental error because the heat is conduction always happening if there is a temperature difference. Okay, so this is a fundamental error. So we can say that case number 3, that is Nusselt number is less than 1. This is a fundamental error. Okay, getting everyone? Whether you understood what is meant by Nusselt number? Okay, so you can write Nusselt number, dimensionless number, give heading dimensionless number, and first dimensionless number as Nusselt number. Can you? Dimensionless number. First one, Nusselt number. Write down. To understand physical significance of Nusselt number, to understand physical significance of Nusselt number, let us consider two fluid layers. Let us consider two fluid layers. Let us consider two fluid layers as shown in figure. As shown in figure. So draw this figure. These fluid layers are flowing with U meter per second. First layer we have to consider as bottom layer, and I have made a mistake that I have provided T2 temperature for both the layers. Bottom layer temperature you have to provide as a T1, and top layer temperature you have to provide as a T2. These two layers are apart by L meter distance. Okay, here we have to consider T1 is greater than T2. T1 is greater than T2, and therefore delta T we will get as T1 minus T2. Delta T we will get as T1 minus T2. Okay, so write down next. As these layers are moving, as these layers are moving with velocity, as these layers are moving with velocity, as these layers are moving with velocity u meter per second, as these layers are moving with velocity u meter per second, the heat transfer is mainly due to bulk motion of fluid. The heat transfer is mainly due to bulk motion of fluid, that is due to convection, which is given by Q convection, Q convection is equal to H multiplied by A multiplied by delta T. Q convection is equal to H multiplied by A multiplied by delta T. Give this equation number as equation number 1. Next line, write down. Now again, now again, now again, consider same layers. Now again, consider same layers, but here, velocity of layers. Now again, consider same layers, but here velocity of layers with which they are moving, earlier is 0 meter per second now. It's 0 meter per second now. Therefore, the heat transfer between therefore the heat transfer between these two layers these two layers these two layers the heat transfer between these two layers is only by pure conduction is only by pure conduction is only by pure conduction because because there is no bulk fluid motion because there is no bulk fluid motion because there is no bulk fluid motion, full stop. And and heat transfer heat transfer is given by and heat transfer is given by and heat transfer is given by q conduction q conduction q conduction is equal to q conduction is equal to q conduction is equal to k multiply by k multiply by a multiply by delta t divided by L. K multiply by a multiply by delta t divided by L. Okay, so that will be equation number 2. Now from equation 1 and 2, equation 1 and 2, Q convection divided by Q conduction will be equal to Q convection divided by Q conduction will be equal to H multiply by A multiply by delta T H multiply by A multiply by delta T divided by K multiply by A multiply by delta T divided by L. K multiply by A multiply by delta T divided by L, which is equal to H multiply by L divided by K, which is equal to H multiply by L divided by K. H multiply by L divided by K. So that is nothing but Nusselt number. Where 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 H is heat transfer coefficient, L is hydraulic diameter, and can be determined by using the equation 4 multiplied by A suffix CS divided by P. L is equal to hydraulic diameter and can be determined by using the equation 4 multiplied by A suffix CS, that is cross section area, divided by P, that is nothing but weighted perimeter. And K is the thermal conductivity of fluid. Now, what signifies Nusselt number? The Nusselt number represent the enhancement in heat transfer. Nusselt number represent the enhancement in heat transfer due to convection. Nusselt number represent the enhancement in heat transfer due to convection. Due to convection. Okay. So case number one in Nusselt number, when Nu is equal to 1. When Nusselt number is equal to 1, if you are getting Nusselt number is equal to 1, then what it represents? It represents the heat transfer is only by conduction. The heat transfer is only by conduction. The heat transfer is only by conduction, and there is no heat transfer by convection. And there is no heat transfer by convection. And there is no heat transfer by convection. So Nusselt number, we will get Nusselt number is equal to Q convection divided by Q conduction is equal to 1. So that we will get convection is equal to conduction. Convection is equal to conduction. Q convection is equal to Q conduction. Okay, so this is about the case number 1 when Nusselt number is equal to 1. Now, if the Nusselt number is greater than 1, case number 2, when Nusselt number is greater than 1, the heat transfer is mainly by convection. Okay, when Nusselt number is greater than 1, the heat transfer is mainly by convection. So take the example, if Nusselt number is equal to 3, Nusselt number is equal to 3, then Q convection divided by Q conduction is equal to 3. Q convection divided by Q conduction is equal to 3 according to our formula. Then we will get Q convection is equal to 3 times Q conduction. Okay, Q convection is equal to 3 multiplied by Q conduction. That is 3 times Q conduction. So from above equation, we can say that from above equation we can say that the heat transfer by convection is 300% more than conduction. Is 300% more than conduction. Okay, getting everyone? Now case number 3. Case number 3 is when Nusselt number is less than 1. Nusselt number is less than 1. It will not never happen in any of the example that Nusselt number is less than 1. But if you get the Nusselt number less than 1, then that will be the fundamental error. You have to check your condition once again and you have to modify it. Okay. So when Nusselt number is less than 1, then this is fundamental error. Nusselt number less than 1, then this is fundamental error. Okay. So this is about the Nusselt number. I hope everyone understood the significance of Nusselt number. Now second one is Prandtl number. Okay, Prandtl number. So Prandtl number is the ratio of kinematic viscosity to the thermal diffusivity. Okay, so we can say that it is the ratio of kinematic viscosity to the thermal diffusivity. Now what is meant by kinematic viscosity? Kinematic viscosity is the ratio of dynamic viscosity to the density and thermal diffusivity. Okay, so phenomenon of diffusion we discussed in the first chapter, that is thermal diffusivity. It is the ratio of thermal conductivity to the heat capacity of that particular material. So heat capacity of material is nothing but rho multiplied by Cp, that is density multiplied by specific heat of that material or heat capacity of that particular material. Okay, so the nu, we are using the nu symbol for the kinematic viscosity. Nu is equal to mu divided by rho, where mu is nothing but dynamic viscosity and rho is the density. Then alpha is nothing but thermal diffusivity. Alpha is nothing but thermal diffusivity, and its formula is K divided by rho C. K is the thermal conductivity, rho is the density, and Cp is the specific heat. Then Prandtl number, according to our definition, the ratio of kinematic viscosity to the thermal diffusivity, Prandtl number can be written as nu divided by alpha. Okay, put up the values of or the formulas of nu and alpha in Prandtl number equation, Prandtl number formula. So Prandtl number we will get as mu divided by rho whole divided by k divided by rho multiplied by Cp. Okay, so here rho and rho density will be cancelled. Okay, Cp will be transferred to the numerator side, and we'll get the Prandtl number formula as mu Cp divided by k. Okay, we'll get the Prandtl number formula as mu Cp divided by k. Now, for what it signifies, Prandtl number. Okay, so actually the Prandtl number significant is different from its formula. Okay, whatever the formula we are getting mu Cp divided by k. So how it is different from the formula? Because the Prandtl number is proportional to the ratio of velocity boundary layer and the thermal boundary layer. Okay, Prandtl number is proportional to ratio of velocity boundary layer and the thermal boundary layer. We know, we have discussed that. What is meant by velocity boundary layer? At what height from the base of the plate or the surface of plate we are getting 99% of a initial velocity. Okay, 99% of a initial velocity. So that particular height in a y direction we have to consider as a thickness of a velocity boundary layer, and if you connect all such a points over the plate surface, then you will get one region. Okay, we'll get one region. Below that particular region, the viscous forces are dominating over the flow of that fluid, and we'll get a velocity profile. Okay, we'll get the velocity profile. So velocity profile is what? Velocity of the fluid layers goes on changing as we are moving from the base of the plate or surface of plate to that particular boundary. Okay, so that region we have to consider as a boundary layer region, and in that particular region the velocity varies with respect to y, with in the y direction. Okay, so similarly thermal boundary layer is there. Okay, thermal boundary layer we have discussed that there is initial temperature difference between the fluid layers uh, uh, and the plate surface temperature. And if you consider the plate surface temperature is greater than the fluid temperature, then the first layer will stick to the surface, and it will adhere to that particular surface, and temperature of that layer will be in equilibrium with the surface temperature of surface temperature. And as we are moving in upward direction or in y direction, this temperature goes on decreasing, and at one point we are getting initial temperature. Yeah, roll number 47. Is there any doubt? 47. Can you mute yourself? Roll number 47. Okay, and at particular height in a y direction we will get the 99% of initial temperature difference. So that height or that particular location from the distance of that particular location from the surface of that plate, so that much distance we have to consider as a thickness of a thermal boundary layer. Okay, thickness of a thermal boundary layer. Okay, so this Prandtl number is proportional to delta divided by delta Th, where the delta is nothing but the thickness of velocity boundary layer, and delta Th is nothing but thickness of thermal boundary layer. Okay, so how it affect on this thickness, how it will affect on this particular Prandtl number, that we need to discuss. Okay, so let us consider that variation of delta on y-axis. Okay, delta means delta velocity boundary layer and thermal boundary layer. Okay, and the distance on x-axis. Okay, distance on x-axis. So let us consider that middle line. Middle line represent the velocity boundary layer. Okay, middle line represent the velocity boundary layer, and the upper line represent the upper and lower line. Okay, these two lines are representing the thermal boundary layer. Okay, so if the if we can say that the thermal boundary layer, according to our formula, the thickness of thermal boundary layer is greater than 1. Okay, if the thickness of thermal boundary layer is greater than the thickness of velocity boundary layer, then we will get Prandtl number less than 1. Okay, as the Prandtl number is nothing but delta divided by delta Th. Okay, so if the thickness of thermal boundary layer is greater than the thickness of velocity boundary layer, then we will get a Prandtl number less than 1. Okay, and if the thickness of thermal boundary layer is less than the thickness of a velocity boundary layer, okay, if the thickness of thermal boundary layer is less than the thickness of a velocity boundary layer, in that case we'll get the Prandtl number greater than 1. In that case we'll get the Prandtl number greater than 1. And if the velocity boundary layer thickness is equal to the thermal boundary layer thickness, in that case we will get Prandtl number is equal to 1. Okay, in that case we will get Prandtl number is equal to 1. So middle line, we can say that it represent the velocity boundary layer thickness and the thermal boundary layer thickness is same, or we can say that which are collapsed to each other. Okay, we will get the same thickness of velocity boundary layer and the thermal boundary layer when the Prandtl number is equal to 1. Okay, so case number 1 we will discuss. Case number 1 is nothing but Prandtl number is less than 1. Prandtl number 1 is Prandtl number is less than 1. So what it means? Prandtl number is less than 1. What it means? So in that case, we are getting the thermal boundary layer thickness somewhat away or in a upward side than the velocity boundary layer. So we can say that heat diffuses slowly than the diffusion of a momentum. मतलब हीट का जो डिफ्यूजन होता है, हीट फैलने का जो रेट है वो कम है as compared to the velocity diffusion, as compared to the velocity diffusion. So it means the here heat diffuses slowly than the diffusion of a momentum. So like these Prandtl numbers we are getting in case of a liquid metals, like this Prandtl number, in, the Prandtl number value less than 1 we are getting for the liquid metals. And what is the use of this such a metals? That is nothing but these types of metals are used, or the liquid metals are used to extract the maximum amount of heat in a quick time. Okay, quick time, or if you want to extract the maximum amount of heat in a less time period, then we require such a liquid metals. And you'll find the application of liquid metals or such type of materials in a nuclear reactor cooling, where large amount of heat need to extract from the heating surface. Okay, so Prandtl number less than 1, that means heat diffuses slowly than the diffusion of momentum. Then second one is Prandtl number equal to 1. Okay, so this case, okay, this case where the Prandtl number is equal to 1. So what it means? Both diffusion of a heat and momentum are nearly same. Both diffusion of heat and momentum are same. So most of the gases will find the Prandtl number nearly equal to 1. Okay, so that is nothing but heat diffusion, or whatever the thickness of thickness of velocity thickness and the thermal boundary layer thickness, we will see collapse to each other. Okay, or we will see the on one line only. Okay, so or which are having the same boundary, velocity boundary layer and the thermal boundary layer having the same boundary. Okay, such type of Prandtl numbers we will get for most of the gases. Okay, Prandtl number equal to 1. Then the last one is Prandtl number greater than 1. So in that case we can say that the thermal boundary layer thickness we are getting at a lower position than the velocity boundary layer thickness. So in that case we can say that the heat diffuses more quickly as compared to the diffusion of a momentum. Okay, as compared to the diffusion of a momentum. So this type of Prandtl number or Prandtl number greater than 1 we are getting in case of oils. Okay, in case of oil. So here I have listed some of the fluids and their Prandtl numbers. Okay, so liquid metal having the Prandtl number 0.0042 to 0.03. Second one, gases having the Prandtl number in between, ranging in between 0.7 to 1, and then water. So water we are taking at a 20 degrees Celsius temperature, having the Prandtl number for the water is ranging in between 1.7 to 10. Then glycerin, okay, and its Prandtl number is ranging in between 2000 to 1 lakh. Then last one is oil, and its Prandtl number is ranging in between 50 to 1 lakh. Okay, so you can say that for the liquid metals, in which we are getting the thermal boundary layer somewhat away than the velocity boundary layer. So thermal boundary layer thickness is more than the velocity boundary layer. So we'll get the Prandtl number lesser. In gases, we are getting nearly equal to 1, Prandtl number nearly equal to 1, so that the velocity boundary layer thickness and the thermal boundary layer thickness having same value in gases. And for water, it is one kind of a liquid. So we can say that for the liquid, it is range is different according to their composition. So 1.7 to 10. Then glycerin, once again, we can say that glycerin is one kind of oil, and different types of oils, if you can consider. So then the variation we can see according to their composition. Okay. So this is about the Prandtl number. If you understand, please let me know whether you understood or not. What is meant by Prandtl number and their significance. If you have any doubt, you can ask. If not, then you can view the heading. Second dimensionless number is Prandtl number. Okay, Prandtl number. Symbolically, it is represented as capital P small r. Write down Prandtl number, capital P small r. Write down. It is the ratio of kinematic viscosity. It is the ratio of kinematic viscosity. It is the ratio of kinematic viscosity to the thermal diffusivity. Kinematic viscosity to the thermal diffusivity. Kinematic viscosity to the thermal diffusivity. So we can write mathematically as PR is equal to nu divided by alpha. Nu is kinematic viscosity and alpha is thermal diffusivity. Alpha is thermal diffusivity. So we know the new formula, that is nothing but kinematic viscosity. Kinematic viscosity is the ratio of dynamic viscosity to the density. Okay. So nu is equal to mu divided by rho. Then alpha is the ratio of thermal conductivity to the heat capacity of that particular material. Thermal conductivity to the heat capacity of that particular material. Okay. So alpha is equal to K divided by rho multiplied by Cp. Alpha is equal to K divided by rho multiplied by Cp. Okay. So Prandtl number, put up the formulas of alpha and nu in the Prandtl number formula. So mu divided by rho divided by whole divided by K divided by rho multiplied by Cp. Rho will be cancelled, Cp will be transferred to the numerator side, and we will get the Prandtl number formula as mu Cp divided by K. 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 Okay. So what it signifies? Prandtl number is proportional or depend. Prandtl number is proportional or depend on velocity and thermal boundary layer. Prandtl number is proportional or depend on velocity and thermal boundary layer. Okay, velocity and thermal boundary layer. So Prandtl number, according to the statement, we can write mathematically Prandtl number is proportional to delta divided by delta Th. delta divided by del divided by del th. Del divided by del th. Okay. So what is meant by del? Thickness of velocity boundary layer. Okay, and delta th, del th is the thickness of thermal boundary layer. Thickness of thermal boundary layer. Thickness of thermal boundary layer. Okay, so draw this diagram. Okay, which represent the three cases of a Prandtl number. Prandtl number lesser than 1, Prandtl number is equal to 1, and Prandtl number greater than 1. Okay, so thick thermal boundary layer. Thick means मराठीत जाड बोलतो आपण. thick. Thin means छोटी, लहान, हडकुळा. ओके, जाड, हडकुळा, thick, thin. Okay, so thick means the thermal boundary layer is the height of thermal boundary layer is greater than the velocity boundary layer. Okay, thin means height of that particular thermal boundary layer is lesser than the velocity boundary layer. Okay, and middle line is representing, if you consider that middle line is representing the velocity boundary layer. Okay, and in case for the middle line, you can say that the thermal boundary layer is collapsed with the velocity boundary layer. So in that case, we'll get the one line only for the thermal boundary layer and the velocity boundary layer. Everyone draw the figure. You can zoom your screen if you're not visible properly the diagram. Okay, so consider case number one. Case number one, Prandtl number is lesser than 1. Prandtl number is lesser than 1. Prandtl number is lesser than 1 means here heat diffuses slowly than the diffusion of momentum. Means here heat diffuses slowly than the diffusion of momentum. Means here heat diffuses slowly than the diffusion of momentum. It diffuses slowly than the diffusion of momentum. Okay, so like this Prandtl number, like this Prandtl number, like this Prandtl number, will get like this Prandtl number will get in case of a liquid metals. In case of a liquid metals, like this Prandtl number will get in case of liquid metals, and we can use such a low Prandtl number material, and we can use such a low Prandtl number materials in nuclear reactor cooling. In nuclear reactor cooling. In nuclear reactor cooling. So you can see that how many questions or MCQs you can form on the basis of this diagram and this particular four lines. Okay, 4 lines. So at least 4 to 5 MCQs can be formed from this particular statement only. Okay, this particular diagram, this particular statement, and this application. Okay, will form nearly about 4 to 5 MCQs. Then case number 2, Prandtl number is equal to 1. Prandtl number is equal to 1. Here, both diffusion of heat and momentum are nearly same. Here, both diffusion of heat and momentum are nearly same. Here, both diffusion of heat and momentum are nearly same. Such type of Prandtl number, we will get for most of the gases. Such type of Prandtl number we will get for most of the gases. And case number 3, Prandtl number lesser than 1. Case number 3, Prandtl number lesser than, greater than 1. Prandtl number greater than 1. So for such Prandtl number greater than 1, for such Prandtl number, heat diffuses quickly. Heat diffuses quickly. Heat diffuses quickly. We will get such a Prandtl number in case of oil. Okay, in case of oil, we'll get such a Prandtl number in case of oil. Okay, so list I have provided to you. You can write this serial number, fluid, and Prandtl number. First one is liquid metal. Prandtl number in between 0.004 to 0.03. 0.03. Second one is gases. Gases. Prandtl number ranging in between 0.7 to 1.0. Then water. So water we are considering at a standard condition at 20 degrees Celsius temperature and 1 atmospheric pressure. Okay. So water. For water, 1.7 to 10. 1.7 to 10. Then glycerine. For glycerine, Prandtl number ranging in between 2000 to 1 lakh. 2000 to 1 lakh. And last one, oil. For oil, Prandtl number ranging in between 50 to 1 lakh. 50 to 1 lakh. Okay. So next number is Stanton number. Okay, Stanton number. We have seen this particular Stanton number in case of forced convection dimensional analysis. So it can be defined. Definition is on the basis of its formula. Okay. So it is defined as the ratio of heat transfer coefficient to the flow of heat per unit temperature rise due to velocity of the fluid. Okay. It is defined as the ratio of heat transfer coefficient. Ratio of heat transfer coefficient, that is nothing but H, and the flow of heat कितनी फ्लो हो रही है पर यूनिट टेम्परेचर राइज होने से हीट कितनी फ्लो हो रही है किसकी वजह से वेलोसिटी ऑफ फ्लूइड. ओके, इसकी वजह से वेलोसिटी ऑफ फ्लूइड की वजह से कितनी हीट फ्लो हो रही है और उसकी वजह से टेम्परेचर राइज कितना हो रहा है. So that is nothing but Stanton number. Okay, so Stanton number formula can be written as H divided by rho multiplied by U multiplied by Cp. So you can take U, capital U or capital V. nothing will change. Capital U we can consider for the velocity. Also capital V also we can consider for the velocity. So H divided by rho multiplied by U multiplied by Cp, where H is the heat transfer coefficient, rho is the density, capital U is the velocity, and Cp is the specific heat. So once again, this particular Stanton number can be represented or can be formulated as HL divided by K divided by rho UL divided by mu multiplied by mu Cp divided by K, where this HL divided by K is nothing but Nusselt number, rho UL or rho VL divided by mu is nothing but Reynolds number, and mu Cp divided by K is nothing but Prandtl number. Okay, so Stanton number, once again, if you formulate this, if you cancel the common things from the numerator and denominator, and if you shift the terms to the numerator side, once again you will get the Stanton number only. Okay, once again you will get the Stanton number only. So this H, this L will be cancelled, then mu will be cancelled, this K will be cancelled, and you will get H divided by rho multiplied by U multiplied by Cp. So once again you will get the Stanton number. So this HL divided by K is the Nusselt number, rho UL divided by mu, that is nothing but Reynolds number, and mu Cp divided by K is nothing but Prandtl number. So once again we can define this Stanton number as the ratio of Nusselt number to the product of Reynolds number and Prandtl number. Okay, so it is the ratio of Nusselt number to the product of Reynolds number and Prandtl number. An important thing about Stanton number is that we have to use this particular Stanton number only in the case of a forced convection correlation. We have to use this particular Stanton number in the case of a forced convection correlation. Okay, so this is about the Stanton number. You can write the third number, third dimensionless number, Stanton number. Stanton number. In that you can write. It is defined as the ratio of heat transfer coefficient. It is defined as the ratio of heat transfer coefficient to the flow of heat. It is defined as the ratio of heat transfer coefficient to the flow of heat per unit temperature rise due to velocity of the fluid. So mathematically, the formulation of Stanton number is equal to H divided by rho multiplied by U multiplied by Cp. H divided by rho multiplied by U multiplied by Cp. And also it can be represented as Stanton number is equal to Nusselt number divided by Reynolds number multiplied by Prandtl number. And if you want to formulate this, then you can write HL divided by K whole divided by rho UL divided by mu multiplied by mu Cp divided by K. So Reynolds number also can be written as rho Vd divided by mu. Okay, rho Vd divided by mu. So D or L, that is nothing but characteristic length or hydraulic diameter. Okay, characteristic length or hydraulic diameter. Okay, so we'll get the formula for the Stanton number as Nusselt number divided by Reynolds number multiplied by Prandtl number. Nusselt number divided by Reynolds number multiplied by Prandtl number. So on the basis of this formula, we can write the statement or definition of Stanton number as it may also be defined as the ratio of Nusselt number to the product of Reynolds number and Prandtl number. to the product of Reynolds number and Prandtl number. Reynolds number and Prandtl number. Okay. So here we know that Reynolds number will get if the flow is flowing or fluid is flowing. Okay. So we can say that in forced convection only we are providing the external agency to blow the air over the surface. Okay. So that the Cantor number we need to use only in the case of a forced convection. So it can be used only in case of a forced convection correlation. It can be used only in case of a forced convection correlation. Getting everyone? Is there any doubt, any question in this particular three-dimensionless numbers? So in the next lecture, we'll discuss the significance of Reynolds number, Grashoff's number, Picard number, one more number, Picard number, and Gray's number also. Okay. So remaining four dimensionless numbers, significance, and their formulation we will discuss in the next lecture, which will be useful for the problems on convection. Okay, to solve the problems on convection. Okay, so is there any doubt, any question? Whether you understood everything? If not, you can ask your doubts. No issue. Still 1 minute is there. Is there any doubt, any question? If not, you can put up your roll numbers in the chat box and you can leave the meeting as early as possible. Everyone put up your roll numbers. I'm going to close this meeting and leave this meeting. 47, 67, 25, 57, 53, 78, 35.